In the funeral of the rich son, Xiu finally met Professor Kui again. This time, Xiu Patiently inquired about the truth of the rich man's death. And the professor was also completely excited. Kim Young Jin shot you. I'm going to send you to the hospital in love. I've never heard of that. Don't tell me. I'm going to follow Kim Young Jin. It turns out that after the rich man saw Shiwi's exquisite surgery, he tried to take her away with full power. The professor knew that the rich man had been sending young doctors from all over the internet for many years. Turn it into a face-to-face tool. I don't know how many people died because of him. Professor can stand it. When he first met Xiu, he was crazy about human brains. He was smart and focused. He was like himself back then. He was once tortured by doubt. That's why he's here today. So when he saw Xiu, that professor decided to make up for his youth, clean up his past and future. So when the rich man wanted to dig him out and turn him into a money-making tool, the professor killed him for the first time. You're a bastard. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to take the man I raised in the palace. I'm going to kill you. Kill me? What's that? You can't take someone else's. I'd kill you if I were you. What are you talking about? What's wrong with you today? Kill me, you bastard. This is the first time they haven't had a quarrel since they broke up. They both seem to have gone back to the beginning and Xiu asked him a question that's been bothering him for years. The real reason why you pushed me away. When I found out you were trying to kill Kim Young Jin, I was happy to see that you were the same person. You thought you were caught by me, didn't you? That's why your pride was hurt. So what should I have done? Should I have sat down with you and whispered, I'm actually going to kill him? Is that what you're doing? But why is it embarrassing and hurting my pride? I wasn't caught by anyone else. The misunderstanding was finally resolved. The professor drove Xiu away because he didn't know how to face him, but it did ruin Xiu's reputation. So the professor, who felt guilty, decided to use the last day to protect his love. But the professor desperately wanted to protect him, but he was found by Captain Liang. Soon, Xiu was captured by the police. You're the one who killed Choi Deok-hui, aren't you? There was no reason for Choi Deok-hui to go through illegal surgery, but you have no choice but to live like that. So you're the one who told me you were going to kill me. Xiu pretended to be stupid on purpose. However, Captain Liang came up with the problem again. Choi Deok-hui doesn't do that to other people, but he hits you. That means you're his weakness. In other people's eyes. You must be crazy. But I know that Choi Deok-hui is crazy. Xiu was in a state of panic. Captain Liang captured everything, but there was no evidence, so he had to watch Xiu leave. When he found out that Xiu had been called to the police station, the professor was not calm for a moment. In order to get rid of Xiu's suspicion, the professor asked Captain Liang to meet him at his secret base. When Captain Liang opened the fridge, he suddenly found the corpse of Zhao Jinyuan lying inside. Zhao Jinyuan, who was playing on the table, pointed out that Captain Liang had colluded with him and ruined the recording of the evidence. However, the professor did not do this to threaten Captain Liang, but to blame himself for all the crimes. Whether the nurse Zhao Jinyuan or the black agent, they were all claimed to be killed by him. On the other hand, Xiu finally found the operating room and had an operation with Professor. However, he waited all night and didn't see anyone. Until dawn, a doctor who had been helping Professor secretly came and told Xiu that the professor would not come. Then he handed a bottle of medicine to Xiu. In order to maintain a state of mind, the professor has been using this medicine. However, the side effect is accelerated death. There are multiple complications, which increase the difficulty of the operation. You should have stopped him. You don't know the professor very well. Are you crazy? Because Steve Professor only has 1 month to live. Angry Xiu drove around looking for the professor. However, the professor disappeared. It turned out that the professor wanted to give Xiu the last lesson: learn to face failure. Because Xiu's operating rate is 0. Failure. The professor's condition will deteriorate completely a month later. Xiu was sure that the operation would fail. 100. He will appear on time. He was led by Xiu. Then he died in his hands. He died on his favorite operating table. On the 4th day, the corpse of Zhao Jinjuan was found. The owner of this house was Professor Kui. The fingerprints on the table and the cigarette butts on the table are as solid as mountains. It confirms the identity of the professor. This is the agreement between him and Captain Liang. He admits all the crimes, but needs to delay the arrest for a month to make sure that Xiu is completely free of suspicion. When the deadline comes, he will take the initiative to return with all the secrets. He saw the news of the professor's confession. Xiu was completely mad, but he still couldn't find the professor. In the end, he remembered the black boss who had been saved by him, so he asked the other party to help find him, and he didn't show up either. He kept calling Captain Liang. He asked him to meet outside the suburb, since he could catch the professor's weakness. There must be some kind of agreement between the two of them. This surprised Captain Liang very much. Didn't you hear from Kui Duke? Aren't you two in the same group? All I know is that the teacher decided to write everything upside down. I didn't write it upside down. I confessed everything. He said he could only live for a month. I'll call you before I die. He told me to catch him then. If I die, there will be no arrest warrant, and the case will be closed. Who killed Xiu?